Hi, I am Norm. I work at Page One Power, and this is the session on building better linkable content. It's modern romance, the marriage between links and content in 2022. So, if you've attended this session, you should already know that links are essential to making yourself visible in search. They always have been, and there's no real evidence suggesting that they're ever going to lose that importance, even as certain other factors begin to rise in importance. So, what I want to talk to you in this session is how you can make your content better support your link building efforts or your link building campaigns to actually use what we know is a major ranking factor to support visibility for your website. So, the biggest obstacle that I tend to encounter for link building campaigns for pretty much any site, regardless of the industry that they're in, is they often focus too hard on using all of their web content specifically for conversion. Or, in other words, I see a lot of sites that tend to lead with what they want, a call to action, the promotion of a product, and pretty much any other language that's focused on internal business goals. So, to understand why that approach doesn't work, I want you to consider the online dating profile used by modern singles. So, regardless of platform, which do you think would be more effective? A profile that leaves with all of a person's must haves. You must be this tall. You must be this weight. You must appreciate this music, these authors. You must share these political views. You must make this annual income, and you must be free from the following congenital conditions, and so on and so forth. Or alternatively, what about the online dating profile that leads with what that person has to offer? I'm outdoorsy and I love to hike and boat. Or I've memorized all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies and I can nerd out about the series for hours. I have love, energy, enthusiasm to share, and I'm excited to meet new people. I bring this up because web search, like online dating, is all about being found, but it's so easy to get lost in the details and lose sight of that bigger picture. So, what I'm talking about today is how you make genuine connections. Because after all, it's real people, not websites, not anonymous domains that are ultimately the ones deciding whether or not you get that swipe right. That is to say, whether you earn the links that you desperately need. So, we're going to learn how you can offer something valuable, not just to the people that you're trying to sell things to, be they products or services, but how you can appeal to the people who manage websites and earn the links that you need from their websites. Because these are two very different audiences with distinct needs, different expectations, and very different levels of tolerance for your usual approach to content. So, the first thing everyone needs to bear in mind, and this is a really big one for online dating, everyone's looking to eliminate time wasters and lost causes, to cut through the chaff and see if anything worthwhile remains. So, this is true of your target audience, your qualified leads, but it's also true of anyone who might consider linking to you. Site owners and editors, they tend to have a really great nose for sites or content that solicits what is essentially free advertising, where you ask for something without really offering anything material in return. They're also sensitive to promotional links, content marketing schemes, and as a result, they don't have a lot of attention to spare and they are more than willing to strip the links that you're asking for or simply reject your offer outright. And I think this is how a lot of people approach online dating. Even though ostensibly, if you're on an online dating service, you're looking for a connection, in practice, what you're doing is impulsively swiping left anytime you see anything that remotely resembles a red flag for you. So, however, that's defined by your own tolerance and preferences, you tend to have very, very little patience for someone that you're not interested in or that you don't see potential for. And you tend to focus more on why you would reject someone than why you would want to meet and engage with someone. So, as a person trying to make connections, you have very limited time and opportunity to make it through that massive initial filter. So the best option you have is to stand out. Lead with something unique, engaging, and above all else, valuable. So, to make your content link worthy, you cannot open with something selfish. You can't expect engagement from people when you come out only focused on what you want, what you think you deserve, and only appealing to your minuscule curated target audience. Because again, and this bears repeating, the most qualified leads for your business conversion might be the ones you rely on to pay the bills, but they are not the ones who are going to give you the backlinks you need. You have to consider the other needs, interests, concerns, and even demographics of other websites if you're going to reach the types of people that you actually will earn links from to a search visibility. Your qualified leads and your core customer audience, they might need something that you offer, but the rest of the web needs a different compelling reason to pay attention to you at all, get interested. Otherwise, they're not going to link to you. So suppose you do manage to get that engagement. Your email doesn't get deleted, or if you're online dating, you get that swipe right. Now you have someone's attention. You only have that brief window now in which you can make an invaluable, irreplaceable first impression. So, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to spend the whole time talking about yourself, explaining what, in your view, makes you the best? Are you going to start demanding commitments, setting expectations, defining the parameters of the exact relationship that you're hoping for? In other words, is all the messaging that you use driving inexorably toward conversion? Or do you pause and consider for just a moment what the other person wants? Listen, pay attention to other conversations, the ones happening outside your own head. Look past what's going on in your own marketing and sales departments. What experiences is your target audience having? What other pain points do they face outside of the ones that you have a special solution for? What are they searching for? Where did they already look? What can they relate to? What motivates, inspires, or even instills fear in them? In other words, stop focusing on yourself. Stop trying to convert. Find a way that you can relate, become relevant, and engage with audiences organically before you jump into your go to sales pitch. What do you actually have to offer? It's way too typical for sites to come to the table with a robust set of goals and optimized landing pages for all their products and services, only to find that asking for links to these pages doesn't actually pan out and their efforts to organically rank in search fizzle. Why? You know your value, you believe you're the best, and you know you need links to get the visibility your site and your brand deserve. So why doesn't the rest of the web play along? Because earning links is a very different exercise compared to making a value proposition to qualified visitors or appealing to the searchers who are already comparing you against your direct competitors. The thing that you have to offer the sites isn't the same as what you would offer to customers. You need to think outside the box about a value proposition that resonates with editors, webmasters, site owners, and even just ordinary readers outside of your target audience. What you have to offer them is the core to earning links. And it's going to be different from how you present yourself as a brand traditionally to get conversions. And this is where EAT really comes into play. To be seen as an authority on something isn't just to be seen as someone who can sell something or make a conversion. To be an expert in your industry is to be able to talk with equal levels of engagement and compellingness and relevance to people at different stages, either in a conversion journey or even just exploring the topic relevant to your niche. So, I can feel tension anytime I point out that the people you earn links from are not the same as your target audience. Because by extension, the content that you need to earn links is not going to be the same as the existing content you published to attract, persuade, and engage your target audience. So a lot of people hear that and they immediately think if I'm creating link worthy content, then it's probably not relevant. So I want to be clear here. If content isn't relevant to your brand as you understand it, that content probably doesn't belong on your site. But there is a lot of space and a lot of potential topics, pain points, and areas of interest and inquiry between where you want customers to end up for conversion and where the rest of the web starts to get interested and willing to look at your content, consider your brand expert, trustworthy, authoritative, and where other sites are going to be willing to link to you. The point here is to make natural contextual connections to your core pages and the keywords associated with those pages in the space of content that's broader, more accessible, and not sales focused. So, bear with me. For this example, Page One Power, my employer, offers link building services and SEO content creation. The vast majority of people online aren't interested in these topics. That's a very niche B2B service that the average reader just won't understand or care about. But if we talk more broadly in our on site content about, for instance, the difference between the internet and the World Wide Web, or dissecting if, how, and when Google combats misinformation or partisan favoritism, suddenly topics that are still SEO related in nature are very engaging, useful, relevant, and even link worthy to a much wider and much more diverse audience than the people who are ultimately going to come to Page One Power and get help from our services. So the connection is still there. We are still naturally able to talk about link building, search optimization, content creation, keyword research, etc. But we're doing it in the service of bringing information and perspective to readers beyond our target audience. In other words, our core audience can still benefit from the content. They can still learn about our industry and our brand and our expertise, but we're not couching that valuable information in service of a sales pitch or some contrived testimonial or humble brag to make ourselves sound bigger. We're just talking organically about related subjects that we know other sites and their respective audiences will actually be interested in reading about, sharing, and ultimately linking to. So, it is essential to maintain your on brand topical relevance, or in the sense of online dating, be authentic, be sincere, be true to yourself, represent who you actually are, while still facilitating mentions and internal links to your target pages or talking about your genuine interests and what you're ultimately looking for. The pages that you want to rank for important keywords, those are the pages that you ultimately need to link internally to. So, first dates are interviews. You don't need to be explicit with your content when someone is looking at it. A CTA is not a substitute for topical, organic conclusions to your content. In other words, don't sabotage yourself by landing a first date or a look by external sites that might consider linking to you, only to bait and switch them with something they thought was going to be interesting and turns out to be a typical sales call to action or a closer that's just talking about what you want and what you have to offer. A classic example of this would be you come up with a compelling, general, not obviously commercial title, something that people would be interested in, only for the actual substance of the content to immediately segue into your rote bottom of the funnel sales call. Same is true for PR content. If you're talking about something that's happening in the world and then you spend the whole time explaining why you're a part of it or how you fit into the big picture, that's not as interesting as if you actually explore the topic as presented in the original title. Always bear this in mind. You don't get to decide what will be most attractive to someone. You can't force someone to like what you like or see you the way that you wish to be seen. And under that same premise, you don't get to decide what appeals to people or what deserves links. What you can do is pay attention. Step outside yourself and your self centered ways of thinking and communicating. Listen and engage with other people where they are instead of where you wish they were. Make yourself or your brand and your website relevant to these external conversations that are already happening and bring something of value to those conversations. To get what you're looking for, be willing to offer others something they are looking for. And finally, as with all things in SEO, what once worked may stop being effective later. And in life, in the romantic world, what earns you first dates and swipes right for a time, it may fizzle. What was powering your link building may fade in efficacy over time. This is part of the challenge we all have to rise to face, to stay relevant and engaging, and to be willing to iterate, try new things, and keep at it. If you have questions or you'd like to learn more about how you can make your content, your brand, your niche more relevant and appealing, or how you can get help earning links and creating content to earn links, Page One Power is offering a free 30-minute consultation, and we'd be happy to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming to this, and good luck making connections.
Thank you for watching. Click the agenda link at the top of your screen to choose your next session.